Welcome. We are on vertically opposite angles. Now looking at this diagram. With this diagram, we have angles A, B, C, D. Okay. We have two lines that are crossing. So whenever two straight lines moving crosses, they create angles, right? Good. And these angles that we are having, you see that B and D are directly opposite each other. Also, A and C are directly opposite each other. So with these angles formed, that is what we call vertically opposite angles. They face themselves directly, okay, vertically, right? So B and D are vertically opposite, A and C are what? Vertically opposite, right? Good. So if you are told to find, for instance, angle A, we say that angle A is equal to C. They are vertically opposite. Also, angle B and D are the same. So angle B is equal to D. They are vertically opposite. What it means is that if here is 20, here should be what? 20. If here is 60, here will also be what? 60. Do you get me? Now let me give you another example. Now, looking at this figure 2, you see that we have two straight lines crossing each other, right? And they are producing angles, which are four angles here, right? So let's take it as this side is 120 degrees, and then this side is, let's say, 60 degrees, right? Good. And then let me label this side as maybe E and then D. Okay, so if you are told to find the value for angle E and then D, what will be the value? Now the angle property that we have here says that when the angles are vertically opposite, they are what? Equal. That is, vertically opposite angles are equal. So if this is 120 degrees and then this is D, what will be the value for D? The value for D will be equal to what? 120 degrees. Also, this side is 60 degrees and then this side is E. We got to know that E and 60 degrees are vertically what? Opposite, right? So if they are vertically opposite, it means that if this side is 60 degrees, this side is also what? 60 degrees. So what will be the value for E? The value for E will be what? 60 degrees. I hope you get me now. Now, let's try some of the questions that are usually asked on vertically opposite angles and see how to solve questions like that. Now, let's take this example. We have find the value of A in the figure below, and this is the figure. We have a figure MNPQR, right? So this side is called center O, okay? That is why I've written the O here. And we have angle MOR to be what? 120 degrees. We have angle MON not indicated. We have angle NOP as what? A. We have angle POQ as what? 50 degrees. And then we have angle QOR, which is not indicated, right? Now we are told to find the value of A in this figure, and this is A. This is where the A is being located. So if you look at this figure very well, you see that we have two straight lines which are crossing each other, right? Two straight lines which are crossing each other. And then the lines are what? NR and then what? MQ. So if they cross each other, they create angles which are directly what? Opposite. So you can see that angle MOR is one of the angles. We also have angle MON, which is another angle, right? We also have angle NOQ, this side, okay? They are all one angle, which put together, they are directly opposite angle what? MOR. In that case, you state that vertically opposite angles are what? Equal. So we have, let me write it here. So we have vertically, that is how you should solve it if questions are asked like that, okay? Vertically opposite angles are equal. So you have indicated the angle property that you are using. In that case, we know that angle MOR, this angle MOR is equal to angle NOQ, right? Angle NOQ, that is this angle. These are the ones vertically opposite to 120 degrees. We have angle NOQ, right? Good. Now, angle MOR, this angle is what? 120 degrees. And that one is equal to what? Angle NOQ, this angle, right? And what are the angles? We have A plus 50 degrees. So if you add these two, you get an angle produced by the two straight lines that are meeting, okay? A plus 50 degrees directly opposite to what? 120 degrees. Now over here we group like terms. So we have 120 degrees minus 50 degrees, which is equal to A. In that case, A gives us what? 70 degrees. So that is the value of A in this figure. I hope you get me. So always, whenever questions of this sort are given, make sure that you identify those two straight lines which are meeting, okay? And if they meet, which angles are they producing? Which of them are directly opposite? If you see them, then you state your rule that vertically opposite angles are equal. So you indicate those angles and then you use the figures found there to solve for the missing value. Let's take the second example. Our next example is this figure. Find the value of the letter angles in the diagram below. That is this figure, and all angles are in degrees, okay? So we have 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degrees, Y, X, and then Z. And we are told to find the value of the angles X, Y, Z, okay? Now, if you look at this figure very well, look at it very well, you see that we have straight lines that are meeting, okay? So now let's look at them very well. Let's look at them very well. If you look at this line and this line, we see that they are crossing each other. There are two straight lines crossing each other, and they produce four main angles. So let me use short dashes to identify them for you. So we have this one here, one angle formed, which is directly opposite to this angle formed, okay? And then we have another angle here, X, which is directly opposite to what? 60 degrees. So you state that after you have been able to identify those straight lines that are meeting, you state that vertically opposite angles are equal. Always put that one down. That is the inscription that you are using to back your answer, okay? So vertically opposite angles are equal. And what are the vertically opposite angles? We have X, which is equal to what? 60 degrees. I hope you get me now. Right. Now let's look at another one. Now if you look at this line, and then this line, you see that they meet. There are two straight lines meeting. And if they meet, they form angles here, right? They form one angle here. I mean this line and then this line, okay? We have Y, and then we have another angle too, which is formed here, okay? So when you look at this side too, you can see that an angle can be formed here, which is directly opposite to an angle formed here, okay? Good. So if you want to find the value of Y, what will be the value of Y? Y is directly opposite to what? 50, when these two straight lines meet, okay? So we've stated that vertically opposite angles are equal. Therefore, what will be the value for Y here? Y is equal to 50 degrees. I hope you get me now. Now let's move on to the next one, which is Z. Now to find Z, we are still on these straight lines. You see that this straight line meets this straight line, okay? Good. Now if this straight line meets this straight line, what will be the angle formed here? We have Z, right? And this one is directly opposite to which angle? 70 degrees. So this z will be equal to what? 70 degrees. And we have other angles here which can also be directly opposite. So 50 and 60 will be directly opposite to what? X and Y. And then z will be directly opposite to what? 70. So vertically opposite angles are equal. Therefore, z will be what? Z will be 70 degrees. So these are the values for X, Y, and then Z in the given figure. Always make sure that the lines that are drawn are straight lines and they are meeting at a point. Straight lines which are moving and they are meeting at a point. And after meeting, they create four angles. So you have to identify those four major angles that will be created when those two straight lines meet. In that case, you can get your vertically opposite angles formed, okay? And it will help you to get the values that you are being expected to find. Now, with these examples in mind, let me give you one question to try, okay? Find the value of the lettered angles in the diagrams below. All angles are in degrees, okay? So you have 150 degrees, 75, and then A. Find the value of A in this question 1. We have C, 80 degrees, 100 degrees. Find the value of what? C. We have number 3, 2x. We have 50 and then 40. So we find the value of what? X. Try it and then let's see if you really understand what we've learned so far.